Probably about $5,000 worth of labor that all needed to be redone.
Oh my gosh!
It's so f***ing loud.
So loud!
And it's so slow. Like, that was like 60. It sounds good though. For those who know, this was my profile photo on my old YouTube channel for the longest time. Oh, these are the worst sunglasses I ever thought were a good idea to wear. It's been a long time since I've stood in front of this car, talking about it in any capacity, quite frankly. And you've seen it in the background, like in the Savage Garage videos and even some of sponsor bits we've done. I remember we did one for Off the Record where it was like a Memorial Day promotion, and I started the video out with me just doing a burnout in this thing. And I was like, if you have too much fun, use Off the Record. But behind the scenes, this car has had a very, very like long and kind of twisted history, and virtually every single thing I tried to do with this car had some kind of complication, more so than like the normal project car nonsense you run into. So with all that being said, before we get any farther, like, let me just give very quick background on this car. Like, I bought this car as a graduation present for myself when I graduated high school. Worked 2 jobs like the last year of high school, and like I had a half schedule. $8.40 an hour after a while turned into me blowing all of it on a car I couldn't afford, which was this. So make some YouTube videos, and I tried to meet people in the YouTube world, and I had some success. I met Street Speed 717 when I had, I think it was like 183 or 200 something like that subscribers. Gave him a ride in this car and ground the shit out of my 3rd gear. Oops. You'll find that gear. You know, that was my first endeavor into YouTube, and something actually happened. You know, like I went from 200 subs to 2,000, and that was all the world to me at the time. Now, sometime around 2017, or it might even have been early 2018, Street Speed and I were talking about like racing C5 Corvettes, and eventually in my head, I had convinced myself that I needed to sell this car and my motorcycle at the time. And I needed to go buy a C5 Corvette, and I did. I bought it was a heads cam car. It made like 450 wheel, and it was a stout car.
Oh god, that's awesome.
But the thing was, I bought this thing, it had like 90,000 miles on it, and proceeded to break so many, like every single time I drove it after the first time I blew the diff, I started breaking things that I couldn't afford to fix. So I stopped doing YouTube for a while, and I ended up selling the C5 Corvette, and I bought the C4 back from the buddy I had sold it to. Now, the one condition when I sold it was I got to be able to buy this back for me when I'd like to. And I did that, and when I bought it back, you know, the guy had kept it at a, you know, with a lot of tracks you go to now, like you can have a membership there, keep a car, have a garage there, and when you come, like they have like a casita, like set up for you, ready to go. And the thing is, he kept it there, and it was gonna be, you know, just used every now and then on the track. What actually happened was it became like the drift school beater car that they used for instruction. Now that I've given you the backstory on this car, now I want to go through all the things that happened to it that were bad, and the reason that this car never truly resurfaced the way I wanted to. I'm not going to say the shop by name, but the shop that I took this car to, and I enlisted them with a lot of different work on this car. I asked them to go through the motor because the motor needed to be taken a look at after being beat the hell out of in Arizona. I wanted to have a two-step installed in this car, like a two-step MSD box. I had them install that. I wanted them to convert the carpet from black to red. I had just a massive laundry list. Oh, the cutouts, the Granatelli cutouts that are on this car. I had them put those on. And they put these things on, but it took them at least 7 times as long as they said it was going to. They kept leading me on, and they did an absolutely terrible job. I mean, the car was misfiring and driving like trash. The headers that were installed in this car, they were installed incorrectly. Now they leak. The car still leaks oil. It had before. I asked them to fix it. Of course they didn't. I'd say probably about $5,000 worth of labor that all needed to be redone. The other thing that sucked was at the time of me trying to get this car like restored and all that, like this was when I was working for LaFerrari. So I was living up in Jersey. I'd only come down to see family, every other couple weeks or so. And the whole time my car is at this shop in Virginia. So obviously the shop took advantage of that. At this point, everything in this car really needs to be gone through. The entire drivetrain in this car needs to be gone through. The motor, I don't know what kind of damage. Like, I don't know why my car is blowing oil. I mean, I don't know if it needs a head gasket or what it needs, but the MSD box they put in this car, which ended up destroying the OptiSpark. The OptiSpark's not cheap to replace. It's like $1,500, $2,000 to do. I went through a whole Amex claim with them, and it didn't matter how much time and energy I spent explaining to Amex and showing them photo and video proof of the damage that they had caused to this car. Because after the $5,000 in labor that they tried to charge me, which thankfully I only ended up having to pay half of, but after doing that, it went to another shop where I spent another $5,000 trying to fix the stuff that they screwed up, and they fixed some of the things, but there's a lot of things they didn't fix. That's not glued. That's not glued. These are all supposed to be glued, keep in mind.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Bolt's missing down there. This, well, no, that's new. This is filthy as well. And it's a consistent theme. Carpet's not installed well at all. This is unacceptable by any stretch of the means. So I wanted to pose the question to you guys. I wanted to ask you, where do you think I should take this car to have it sorted? And I don't mind shipping it somewhere, somewhere else in the country, but obviously I want it to be a shop that, is not going to do what the other shop did to me. Let me know in the comments below, who do you think I should take this car to? And obviously if they're local to the Fort Lauderdale, Florida area, I'll be able to go by, I can document the journey, and then we can have a lot of fun with it. Because right now, I mean, the clutch in it that was installed wasn't done correctly. It wasn't made it to the flywheel or the dual mass flywheel that these cars have the right way. So this thing chirps so hard when you put it, like you have to give it so much gas in reverse, otherwise the whole car shudders. To me, like, this car is a great representation of an amazing memory that I have with my dad going to pick it up. And also, like I said, it's like this was the birth of me doing anything on YouTube in the automotive world. So this car, no matter how slow it is or whatever it may be, like, this car holds a very special place in my heart. So I wanted to restore it, and in my head, I wanted to restore it to the way I always wanted it to be. So that was, and I'll show the video right now, I wanted my car to sound like this car. So guys, that's it. I appreciate you tuning in. We got a lot more coming on this channel here now, and the next video you're gonna see with this car is gonna be the first time, like, when I got it shipped here to Miami, and the first thing that happened, which is I banged a Yui, and, well, just put the clip in there, Blake. Oh no! Very on brand for Savage Garage. So we got more coming. That's just only one of the things. We'll also be documenting the build and the whole entire thing of what happens with this car. And there's many other things that we're gonna cover here. Lots of stories that you'll see here on Jimbo from Savage Garage. Take care, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.